Got your beautiful face and you got the outside. I'm thinking 2015,
Yeah.
you start choppers. You
Yeah.
also win awards when you're doing Hunter's Fall, your first short.
Yeah.
2 careers starting off at the same time. Did you kind of deliberately do that, or was it just by chance?
All by chance.
Right.
Just going with the flow.
So that I don't know which was taking preference. Was there a sort of a goal at that point in your life?
I actually shot Hunter's Fall in 2014. It was in 2015 I'd done a film called Dead Along the Way by Maris O'Carroll. And I played a character called Chopper. And that's where the name came from. So we were cutting a couple of lads' hair on set, and we had set up a little makeshift Barbers in the toilet, and one of the lads goes, "Oh, we're going to Chopper's Barbers," and it stuck. And then here we are, what is it, 6 years later with the 4th location.
But that is something that all actors are told, you know, early on, have something else to do just in case, because you just don't know, and it's you know, only a tiny percentage can be guaranteed daily or monthly or whatever work.
Yeah.
Was that any kind of part of your thinking too? Because it's a smart move to have.
It is, and it's something I've learned in later years that it's definitely been beneficial to me. And I've actually been going through a couple of things with other actors and educating them into barbering, because they need another career as well, because it's not a steady job.
Well, I know McLean does exotic dancing. You weren't tempted to go into that area?
I don't have the body he has, you know.
That is true.
Like McLean is
very exceptional.
He's exceptional.
Now we should say lockdown has been a hard road for a lot of people, and for someone like yourself, I'm amazed at one point that someone offers you 450 quid just to get their haircut. There's such a demand to sort of try and get themselves.
Whether they actually would if push came to shove, but
but
I wasn't risking
the joke would be there to anything at all.
Oh, trust me, people will be offering you all sorts just to get a haircut, because it's like the one thing you have to wear every day is your hair. So unless you're bald.
I'm bald. I know.
You wear a hat then.
Yeah. So then, when it comes to opening a new place like Greystones, do you sort of feel that you have to go and check out the whole area? Do you kind of have an idea?
I love Greystones, so I actually live in Wicklow myself, in Ashford.
Okay.
But I come around here all the time with my kids and with my partner and local Indians and stuff like that. I love Tiffin and Data Tandoori and Greystones. So there's local business that I love going into and just popping in for a bit of food. And I don't drink or anything, so food's my kind of my go-to. And
you reckon a lot of hairy feckers needed a bit of attention as well?
Yeah, they needed something good around here. No, I just think that there's great opportunities, and Sinead gave us she came to us with the option to rent out there, and I just jumped at it straight away, because it's actually a place we were looking at during lockdown.
Right.
And it was quite a big unit for a barbershop, but then Sinead had taken it and she'd made it into 2 units, and it just seemed to fit us perfectly.
Now that leap from doing it on the film set to becoming a real barber I was
a hairdresser before before the acting.
Well then.
So I done ladies' hair since 2008.
Right.
And then in 2015, 2014, I kind of took a little career break, and then that's where I started toying around the acting side of things. Started as an extra on Vikings, and then was like putting myself forward for short films. Ended up landing a couple of decent Irish films, and then it kind of went from there and spiraling.
Because I was going to say, now you actually have a barber school as well as part of it, so you kind of know how
Barbers
to teach
Academy,
people and get them. And that's, I'm guessing that there's a few things in this world that are guaranteed to always be needed, and Amazon can't mess with.
Yeah.
And this is one of them.
Yeah. That's
a good feeling.
You need a haircut and a burial or cremation.
But that's obviously quite reassuring, and I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, well, I need to do something like carpentry or be a barber or do something that I can't.
Well, trades nowadays I think are huge, especially since COVID.
Right.
And like if you try to get a plumber or an electrician, it's near to impossible. And then with the amount of barbershops that's open, it's hard to get staff even. Right. So that's where we kind of went down the route of like training our own staff, or like finding young talent and then just trying to work with them and give them a chance, you know.
Now, was it a big step to go from just having a love for it and realising, well, I could do a bit of this, I could do choppers? I don't know whether you had to get a lot of, preparation, months and months of work, or how it all fell together for you?
No, well, I actually got given the opportunity for the first shop in Sandyford by my friend Barry, and he was like, look, I have a space here for a barber shop. He goes, you're the only person I'll let in here, and I jumped on it and I took it. And then I kind of just winged it and went through it and learned as I went.
Any kind of difficult birth? Was any sense of like was it a tough gig, or did you sort of know from the start how this works?
No, I kind of went in. At the start there was a lot of walking around and stuff, or waiting around, and then it just, once the word got out there, I had queues for 6 hours sitting on the stairways.
Wow.
And then we brought in the booking system, which is just kept everything in control.
And how's the other side of your life treating you? Because something like Fair City, it's as deep rooted in Ireland now as Coronation Street has been, and Glenroe and all that before. I mean, do you find that sort of surreal sometimes that there's another life or another character that people sort of relate to, and some would take quite seriously? Some people would
come up to you and like it's as if
they
know you as well, and it's kind of, you forget that you're on it as well, because we film like 4 weeks in advance. So I could have shot something back in August and it might be airing in September, October, and people be coming up and I'd be like, oh jeez, was I on last night? But it's good, like it's nice, and it's a nice way to start conversation as well, and it kind of gives you a few talking points. But then it's bad when they know a lot more about your character than you do. So.
I suppose finally, we've had McLean Burke here all his life.
Yeah.
Good looking lad. He's doing well with Fair City.
He is.
There is a danger now you might wrestle that crown from him, because you're a good looking lad yourself, and he might just feel he's got this area sewn up.
He's like a fine wine, you know. He's only getting better with age.
That's it. Or a bit of milk. We're not sure which.
Or milk.
Close.